people of the World Wide Web. So it is the weekend, and as you will see, it's another double hitter. So another movie, you know from the title, it is the, I would say, eagerly anticipated Borderlands. Obviously, if at the point you're seeing this, there are obviously a lot of reviews and a lot of negativity has been put towards this movie. So what do I think? So people who do not know, who have not seen it, this is a movie. It is based off a computer video game I think is in the early 2010s. It's had a few iterations. So we've had Borderlands 1, 2, 3. Tiny Tina has had some few spin-offs. So it has been going. It's by the company 2K, and they have then gone into the movie genre with this movie, originally directed by Eli Roth. So obviously he comes from a horror background. This is the story of a bunch of vault hunters, so to speak, and how they come across a big vault that is on the planet of Pandora. There is more to it. There is the company's daughter, the company owned by a man named Atlas. His daughter gets kidnapped by one of his soldiers, and obviously these other people are after him, and it's kind of, as they all come together, they find that there's a key and there's a story. I am a massive fan of the game, so I try not, and this is loosely based off the story from the first game, so I have to kind of take that into consideration, that I may have known stuff more than other people would, so maybe stuff wasn't surprising to me. I thought it was okay. Nothing as far as I'm aware after the credits or anything like that. Me and my friends didn't stay after that. It is an hour and 42 minutes, so we shall get into it. So the spoiler warning is going up, so if you planning on seeing this movie, no need to stop the video here, go see the movie, then come back and revisit the video if you wish to see if your views were the same as mine. As I said, I went with 3 of my mates. Two have played the games, one hasn't. So it's all a different background, so that may have had an impact. So yeah, as I said, it's Borderlands. It's an hour and 42 minutes long. It's directed by Eli Roth. Unfortunately, there were a lot of reshots, and that by Tim Miller. The cast includes Cate Blanchett as the main protagonist, so to speak, of Lilith. She's a bounty hunter who kind of becomes a vault hunter in it. Then you have Kevin Hart as Roland, one of the other main characters from the first game. Then you have Edgar Ramirez. He plays Atlas, the kind of bad guy owner of the big company who's trying to get to this vault and get his daughter back at the same time. We have Jamie Lee Curtis as Tanis, who's kind of an archaeologist type person who helps them out with finding this. We have Ariana Greenblatt as Tiny Tina, who features in the second game, so she's been brought forward for this story. And Florina Monterin, apologies for that, who Kirk, who's a psycho, who's a really big dude with a mask, who says really inappropriate stuff, kind of. And then obviously Jack Black as Claptrap. So as I said, the story starts off, we have the complex of Atlas, Roland breaking out Tiny Tina, and you also have Kirk, the psycho. He escapes with them. They go off, escaping from Atlas. You don't know the reasons where, what or why at this time. The story then pivots to Cate Blanchett. There is a kind of introduction to the world of the whole vault hunters and everything else that goes on within this world. But you then skip to Cate Blanchett's character, who she's on a job, she's a bounty hunter. She goes to a bar, and Atlas has a team who sends to basically coerce her into doing this mission because she's from Pandora. It's not a very nice place and she doesn't want to go back there and revisit it. They come to agreement. He offers her a lot of money. She then goes to the planet of Pandora, and then it is her job to find his daughter, Tiny Tina, or Tina as she is just known in this movie. As she goes along, she comes across the character of Claptrap. He awakens when she returns, and it's kind of a guide, kind of a bit of a silly sidekick, so to speak. They meet up with Roland, Tiny Tina, and Kirk, the psycho, all at one time. When they kind of come together, they realise that Atlas has sent another kind of brigade of people after her, and then it's kind of, they all have to band together to try and get away from it. They manage to get away, as you've seen in the trailers, with the creature and the piss water place where the running joke with the window open. They escaped her back to another part of Pandora where Moxie is. People will know this character. She runs a bar. She's quite popular. And then obviously Tanis is also hidden out there, and via Tanis they managed to uncover the keys and then what basically where the vault is, which then leads to like a few revelations and a big final fight. There is a few smaller fights in between all of that, and then obviously the vault is opened and the bad guy gets his comeuppance, as we usually think, and then it's kind of a hooray, we've all done well. So, what did I think of this movie? I was not impressed, and I'm going to do the review. I put it 5 out of 10. It is worth a watch, and that is, as far as I'm concerned, it. So, the behind the scenes before I get into this. So, this movie was originally going to be an R-rated. It is directed by Eli Roth. He had those plans. Unfortunately, when he did his footage, I think it's from 2021 to 2020 to 2022, he had filmed his stuff and edited all his stuff. And basically, the studios didn't want that. They wanted a kind of Hollywood blockbuster, which was more related to the 12A than it was. Brought Tim Miller in. He did a lot of reshoots, re-edited the score, everything else. So the movie that we get is a completely different movie to what was actually planned. I think given Eli Roth's background and given an R-rated, it probably was originally a better film, and this is just, I give it a 5. It's a very kind of reluctant 5 because I feel people should see this. As I said, I try to encourage people going to the cinema and seeing films, but so as a fan of Borderlands, I was very disappointed. First off, the casting, they go for quite older actors and actresses. I said, apart from Tiny Tina, I think maybe Kurg is in his 30s, but most of them are late 40s, 50s. A lot of these kids who were playing this game, even though it is a more older game, younger kids are playing this, so they're all going to be in their early 20s. So apart from Kevin Hart, a lot of people probably won't know. Cate Blanchett and Jamie Lee Curtis for one. Kurg's face is hidden, and stuff. So I thought that didn't work that well. There is not a lot of reference to the games. Obviously, there are like characters and stuff, and they do look like they're characters, but they don't necessarily behave. I mean, the game is very much you are a vault hunter. That is the main focus, whereas this starts off as a collection and then it kind of leads to a vault, but there's not really much explored on that. People who know it's a run and gun, you shoot stuff, you know, ain't just, there's different style of guns and everything else and perks, and not many of these are really showcased in it. The world where they are, you know, there's a lot of items that you can find stuff in it and collect stuff, and a lot of money and random items like toilets and lockers and stuff like this. None of this was even featured in it. It's kind of a wasteland. The CG is very much off in a few places. There's very early on where there's a car chase and stuff. It doesn't quite look right. They obviously, whether that's budget restraints or whether that was down to how they just decide, you know, run out of money, or just the company they were using, that was the best they could do. But yeah, I mean, even Claptrap, so anybody who knows the game, Claptrap is kind of your guide. He is a big one, and he has some really good jokes. And to be honest, one of them is Stairs, and it was so poorly used. I mean, there was a few times he did say some stuff. There was, I mean, it wasn't a massive picture. There was sometimes he said some stuff, and there was this guy, I seem to go to cinema, there's this one guy that seems to find stuff funny and no one else does. But Claptrap, I think, was a good choice of Jack Black. I think his dialogue and how it was used was very poor, because there was 1 or 2 times it was brilliant, and then the other times it just missed the point. As I said, so it's worth a watch, and that is about as much as I'm going to say to this. I think if I'd seen the R-rated version, it would probably have been closer to the game, and obviously if that was principal photography and there was no CG or stuff done in that, then Eli Roth might have added other stuff in, because I think he's quite good at that. Unfortunately, the reason why the reshoots were done by someone else, he was filming the other film, Thanksgiving. But yeah, I don't want to put the blame of this on the actors, actress, or the director, Eli Roth, because I don't think they are at fault. This is one of these times where a studio feels that they have the right to control something, and to be honest, it's a mess. And I think it's 130 or 140 million this movie cost to make, and it made 4 million. It didn't even make 5% or even 4%. Like, it's probably made like 2.5% of it in its open weekend. This is going to probably be the biggest bomb of this year, I suspect. And the studio are at fault for that. I think maybe if they do get an R rating later, they can recuperate some of their money back. Definitely if it's all been shot and the actors have already done their work and something like that, I think that would be the best way for them to try and salvage something. You know, my friends who watched it, they did enjoy the movie. One of my mates who's a massive fan, he said he would happily watch the second one, but it'd probably be a more like streaming site film. But anyway, that has been my review for Borderlands. Have you seen this movie? Let me know your thoughts and feelings down in the comments below. Otherwise, hit that comment or subscribe button if you feel the need to. Otherwise, have a nice weekend and I shall see you in the next one.